Hello everyone and welcome back to Paperback Journeys, where today we're going to play a little bit of fiction roulette. So as always, I'm going to let the wheel decide what I'm going to be reading and reviewing for the month. Every month I spin the wheel 4 times. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit indecisive about what I want to read. There's usually like a handful of books that I'm really excited to read. So for me, this is just like a kind of exciting way to nail down just 4 titles. I usually read more than 4 books a month, but this is just like a helpful way to nail down 4 titles that I'm definitely going to read that month. Now, with that said, this month is going to be a little bit different because last month I had my plans interrupted and I didn't get around to all of the 4 books. Let me explain. So you're probably aware that last month on Netflix, The 3-Body Problem came out. And I was actually in the middle of reading one of last month's selections, which was Golden Sun. And I was really enjoying it. But then some people said in the comment section, you know, in this TV adaptation of the Remembrance of Earth's Past series, that there are parts from book 3 that are actually going to be in this. So if you don't want it spoiled, you've got to read book 3. And thanks so much for the people that commented that, because I wasn't aware. So then I just dropped everything and I read the finale. Unfortunately, what that meant is that I didn't get around to finishing Golden Sun, and I didn't even get started on 20th Century Ghosts by Joe Hill. So these 2 books are going to be on my TBR list for April. I'm going to get around to reading both of them. Like I say, I'm about halfway through this one already, and I'm loving it. I think it's better than Red Rising. That means that this month I'm just going to spin the wheel twice, see what it lands on, but we can still have a bit of fun with it, can't we? So I've actually got 10 options that are available on the wheel. I'm really excited about every single one of these. I got to say, having this channel, this is one of the most fun videos that I get to make every month, because with some of the other videos, there's a little bit of planning that goes into it. This is a bit more spontaneous, and I get to find out live with you what is going on. And so I'm really excited to find out what I'm going to be reading for this month. Before I get started, let's talk about the options that are actually on the wheel. This month, there's quite a lot of dark books. The theme this month for April is darkness. The first book that's an option for my TBR list in April is This Thing Between Us by Gus Marino. Now, a lot of you have actually suggested this book to me, and you've all assured me that this is pitch black, full of ambiguity, some dark humor, which is the best kind of humor, isn't it? This is a horror story about a couple who get a kind of like a smart home device, right? You know the type. I'm not going to say the name of the smart home device, because otherwise it might trigger some of your devices at home, and that's always annoying. This home smart device starts to act strangely, and at first it seems to be, quite funny. They're getting packages that they never ordered, and then the device starts singing in the middle of the night. It's kind of acting weird, a little bit creepy. But then the main character's wife, the main character is called Tiago, his wife passes away. Somehow it seems as though these 2 things are interlinked. The arrival of the smart home device and the death of his wife. And this book is an exploration of grief and the impact that can have on a widower. It's difficult with books like this because, you read the back of the book and it gives you an idea of the tone of the book, but not so much the plot. And I think that's the point in a book like this. It's supposed to be very ambiguous, it's supposed to be mysterious, and so, yeah, it's got me curious. The next book is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. It's about Fitz, a character called Fitz, who is a royal bastard that is brought into a royal household and trained as a secret assassin for the monarchy. It's set in a world full of magic and political intrigue. I've never read any Robin Hobb. I've never read anything by Robin Hobb, but everybody tells me, and then when I look up reviews online and that kind of thing, everybody says the same thing. Robin Hobb is incredible at creating in-depth and unique characters, and that's what I mostly like about reading fiction. Not the plot. I mean, obviously, I love it when there's a good plot. I love it when there's a lot of world building and all that kind of thing. But the most important thing to me is amazing characters that I can just love and just watch these people that I love get tortured. You know, that's the kind of sick people that we readers are, isn't it? There's a lot riding on this because if I like this book, there are like, I think it's somewhere between 12 and 15 books that are set in this universe. So this could open a whole new universe for me. Next up is a book that's been on the list for a while now, and it just never seems to come up on the roulette wheel. It's Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This is a science fiction thriller that explores alternate realities through the protagonist, Jason Desson, I think his name is. Pretty sure. Yep, Jason Desson. Jason Desson is a college professor who is kidnapped and then wakes up to a world and a life that he doesn't recognize, like an alternate reality where his life has taken a completely different path. This is supposed to be a little bit mind-bendy. It questions ideas of like identity, love, and the paths that we don't take in life and what could have been. Next up is The Trial by Franz Kafka. I really loved Metamorphosis. I enjoyed the absurdity of it, and I think that that's going to be common across all of Kafka's work. This is the story of Joseph K., a man who works in a bank when one day he's arrested for a crime that he doesn't know he's committed, and he doesn't know exactly what he's being charged with. No one seems to know what he's being charged with, whether it be the court, whether it be the officers who arrest him, whether it be any of the inspectors. No one seems to know what crime he's committed. I find that with Kafka's writing, a lot of it has a dreamlike quality to it, or rather a nightmarish quality to it, where you know that something's wrong, but logic just seems inaccessible in the moment. Things aren't adding up and you can't work out why. And that kind of frustration that you feel. I think this book is going to make me feel angry in the best way possible. The next book that I hope to be reading in the month of April is The Fisherman by John Langan. I've heard so many people on YouTube and on TikTok talk about this book and how when they read it, it completely messed them up for days. Sounds fun. Next up is Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I read the First Law series, the First Law trilogy last year. Something that Joe Abercrombie does really well is characters. Not just the protagonists, not just the antagonists, but all of the characters that are on the periphery of the story. And when an author is able to do that, it brings the story to life. Sometimes, with some authors, they have characters that are standing around and they feel like NPCs, they feel like they're just there as decoration or scenery that are just there to be in the background and facilitate the main character's journey. But Joe Abercrombie is able to create a world that feels real because, like I say, all of the characters feel fully realized. You feel as though if the protagonists were removed from this story, then all of the other background characters would still be living interesting lives in their absence. This is the story of Monza Mercato, I think you pronounce it like that, and she is a mercenary leader who seeks revenge against her former allies who betrayed her and attempted to kill her. It sounds kind of like Kill Bill, but mixed with Game of Thrones. So amazing. Another book which has been on my TBR for a long time and I really want to read it is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. And one of my subscribers who also has her own channel, Vera, I think you pronounce her name, told me that I was saying the name Danielewski. Very embarrassing. It's actually Danielewski. He's a Polish writer. Just while I'm on that note, just as like a side note, Vera has a really fantastic channel. She's only had a channel for, I think it's like under 2 months, and already she's building up a great subscriber base. I think she's already got over 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy the kind of books that I read, I think you're probably also going to like the books that she reads as well. So yeah, just wanted to make you aware of another great booktube channel that's out there. She kind of reads full trilogies or full series, and then she gives like reactions to each book within the trilogy or within the series. She's done Dune. She also read the First Law series, and then she had like a ranking of the universe of the First Law recently. So if you want to check out her channel, then you can. I'll put it in the description below. I'll put a link to her channel there. This book is about a house which inexplicably is larger on the inside than it is on the outside, kind of like Doctor Who's TARDIS. The book is really told from multiple perspectives that are kind of all interwoven with each other. One story is told from the perspective of a documentary filmmaker, another is a critique on that documentary, and another is told from a tattoo artist who's also a drug addict, who is filling in the lines and saying what's real and what isn't. It's really kind of difficult for me to explain, especially as someone who hasn't even read the book. I'm just going by, you know, other reviews that I've seen of this book. It's got kind of very strange formatting. I feel like I speak about this book a lot, so you probably, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you probably already know about this book and you just want me to read it already. And I hope that it comes up on the fiction roulette wheel today. It's got to come up sometime. The next book that I hope to read in the month of April is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is a book told from two different perspectives. The first perspective is a blind French girl during World War II who is a part of the French resistance. The other perspective is a German soldier who is helping the Nazis to track down members of the French resistance. And he does that through radio communications. I think this book is, you know, despite the backdrop, supposed to be quite a life-affirming and heartwarming message of triumphing over darkness and looking for, as the title says, the light we cannot see. I think this book has the potential to make me cry. Good. All right, it's that time. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to find out what I'm going to be reading in the month of April. I want to read all of it. I wish I was one of these people that could read so fast and I could just read all of these books in a single month. Can't do it, man. All right, so you see everything written here on the board. These dark spots, I always leave blank. And so if it lands on one of these dark spots, I'm going to be reading further in the Red Rising series, right? So that's basically what these dark spots represent. I'm going to spin it twice, and then we're going to find out what I'm going to be reading. I already know that I'm going to be reading Golden Sun from the Red Rising series, and I'm going to be reading 20th Century Ghosts. So those two are going to go up, and then let's find out what else is going to go up on the list. Are you ready? Let's go. The Trial by Franz Kafka. Okay, so this is a book that I've wanted to read for a long time, ever since I read Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Enjoyed it a lot, so very excited to do that. And then let's find out the next book that I'm going to be reading in the month of April. It's The Trial by Franz Kafka again. It's The Trial by Franz Kafka again. By the way, in case you're wondering, I always go by this little dongle bit here because it just, otherwise I can't decide which one. So I always go by this. It's got The Trial 3 times in a row. That's mental. What are the odds? What are the odds? All right, let's go again. No! That's mental. Hey, do you reckon we can get it? You reckon we can get it again? Let's try. Ready? No, we don't. House of Leaves. House of Leaves I'm going to be reading. Yes! Good. Good, good, good. Right, we're going to get to the bottom of this now, and we're going to find out what is all the fuss about with this House of Leaves. Man, as always, I'm really excited about what I'm going to be reading, and I hope you are as well. If you'd like to read any of these along with me, then please do. And if you'd like to see my review of Golden Sun, then you can click up here, because that's going to be the first book that I'll read this month. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you go into the description below to find Vera's channel, and happy reading.